it's an assessment, right? It's your particular situation. For some of them, it will be carry on. We come back to life and we carry on, right? And we just win business. And for some, it will be like, for builders in particular, I think it will be, there ain't nothing till Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got a particular mindset here. So you've got the person who will go, oh, something's not working for me, damn, and then they won't actually act on it. And then you get the person who's like, I'm not accepting this as something that's going to stop me moving forward. And those are the people that will think outside the box and they'll create something new. And if it is a big enough recession and big enough impact, those people that don't take action right now will collapse and they'll leave the market. And then you're left with these people who have innovated and changed things and have done something different that they probably maybe wouldn't have come up with if it wasn't for this situation, the COVID-19, and it wasn't for government shutting down everything. Like I know a bunch of our contractors that are just like, oh, I only service cafes and restaurants. So now they're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So we're jumping in and helping them like change direction quickly and support their team through it. And if they need to, stand down some of their team or get them to finish up with them early so that they're not holding, that cost when they don't have any work and it's quite obvious they're not going to keep getting work because everything's shut down. So making fast decisions, and understanding that.
Yeah. I've been a bit like, try and hold on to your team if you can.
Yes, for sure. That's the goal, isn't it? With stimulus packages.
So. Yep. Being lovely and, and decent people, and also for still having something to scale up again when we come through, right?
Yes.
So if you've laid everybody off, don't be surprised if they don't give a fuck about you when you want them back.
Totally.
That's about you. But if you see all this stuff about, the millennials and the Generation Z and how they don't care about employers and they're not loyal, I know that's because employers aren't fucking loyal. They've just watched their parents and grandparents getting retrenched and laid off, for 30 years, and they think employers can all get fucked, I think.
Yeah.
I've got grown kids. My kids are 25 and 22. And their view of work is just like, fuck you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So
and it's quite interesting.
I agree. And I think also like we've got some young people in my electrical contracting business and we've obviously got to get them understanding how to learn better because they're not taught how to learn like from their tradespeople anymore because Generation Z or Generation Y or very end of Generation Y is teaching Generation Z and they're just not taught how to teach. And I think that's a real problem that we've got moving forward because if they weren't taught properly, they're not going to go and then teach anyone because they've not taught that behaviour of how to teach. So
you come from quite a different perspective than I do. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. So
from a trade perspective, right? Teaching the skills. I come from a sales and marketing perspective, really.
Yep.
And a leadership perspective. Well, quite different. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have really thought of that, what you just said there.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that's...
I just learned something, mate.
Yeah, cool. There's definitely, I've noticed it in my team. So I was really passionate. I actually didn't get taught properly through my apprenticeship and it frustrated me because I was an avid learner. Like I wanted to learn. But when people wouldn't teach me properly, oh, I'm too busy, I don't want to teach you now, or we've got to get to that next job. They were like rush, always rush, and then let's just go home, and they'll go home early, and there was never that time to sit down and actually absorb it. So I did a lot of self-learning to try and get it. And I said, as soon as I finish my apprenticeship, I'm going to start my own business, and I'm going to take the time to teach my staff. And that was right from the start. And, the academy stuff that I'm doing now is what I've always done. I'm passionate about teaching. I love taking the time to teach people things. So that's when I got my tradespeople in my company and were able to teach them certain things. But I've definitely noticed because my electrical contracting business has been running on automation for several years now, like 4 or 5 years. And I've been there less than I was when I was running it and managing everything. I definitely noticed that the apprentices coming through now are coming through to the end less trained than when I was there managing
You were there.
intently. Yeah. So that's when probably a couple of years ago, a year ago, I've come back in, especially because I was doing a lot of online coaching and automation around teaching. Then that's when I was able to come back in and provide coaching without being there. So that's that's been a really revolutionary part of bringing that back in full circle. So I think that's part of innovation, isn't it? We've got to be able to think outside the box. Something's not working right now. How do we make it work with what we've got? And people right now have that opportunity forced upon them because you don't have a choice. It's either you act now and change and adapt, or you're probably going to go out of business.
Yeah, or at least get.
How do you feel about that?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. We need to act now, all of us included,
Yeah.
And we're here doing this, right? This is obviously part of that, reaching out and having a chat. I'm putting out my half price for 3 months. I'm putting out a free group coaching session every week for my community of not clients.
Yep.
To help them through this.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm kind of hopeful that a few of them will get to the end and go, fuck, I'll have a bit of that coaching, please, John.
Yeah.
A bit like the drug dealer, have a few bags.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I'm, more marketing, right? Investing in the giving, the teaching, the helping, the coaching.
Yeah.
And and getting it out there. And that's, that's a big thing for me. I've stepped it up a gear, I think.
Good.
I continue to do that. Yeah.
And just like, so you're adapting as well as a coach.
Yeah.
So now you're like, I'm going to change what I do. You wouldn't have done that before. Hey, everyone, I'm going to give you half price coaching and free group coaching. Like that's something that's happened because of this COVID-19, and hopefully something beautiful is going to come and be born from that, that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So
so we all have to, they're calling it pivot, aren't they? Everyone's saying we've got to pivot.
Pivot.
Have you heard that? Yeah, really, we've got to pivot. We've got to go a different direction.
Yeah.
Too many people are saying it now. It's getting a bit...
I'm starting to hear a lot of stories around changing direction and adapting. Like, have you got some yourself, like from your clients or even people that you've heard, like, wow, that's actually a really good idea?
No, I don't think I have yet.
Okay.
I don't think many of my customers have been faced with enough shock yet.
Yeah.
They're all going, fuck stimulus, fuck, who do we lay off? When's the thing coming?
Yeah.
I'm still okay.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of, okay, this is what I'll cut. This is what I won't pay. I've managed to lock this job in. I've managed to lock these jobs in. So far, no.
When they serve you. Yes.
Serve you, yeah.
So when they
that
serve
doesn't
you.
help subcontractors, right? It's great for builders.
Yeah.
They're less at risk of being served. It's not great for your subcontractors who won't get their money.
Yeah.
So it's a hole in the package. I imagine they'll try and fix it somehow.
Yeah.
It's no use protecting the builders and watching all the tradies go under.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting paid by the builders.
So I think if we can educate the tradespeople to get the PPR.
What's the PPR? I don't know what you mean by the PPR.
Yeah, so I can send you a video after this. So PPSR check. So PPSR check is the what does it actually stand for? Let me just get this definition for what it stands for.
It's all right. If you've got them right, I can look it up and watch your video, but it's...
Yeah, PPSR. I don't actually know. Oh, Personal Property Securities Register. So PPSR is the Personal Property Securities Register, and that protects the contractor to the level that the bank is. So if the contractor needs to get money off the builder, they can actually bypass the builder and take money directly from their clients. So instead of the builder waiting to pay them. So the tax lawyer that we talked to today, he was talking about how and if you guys are on this platform and watching this now, go and watch that one on this stimulus package item. But this is the one that if you didn't have, is you go like 12 months in court, and then you can go up to 2 years in court, $30,000 in legal fees, and then you need to go into court again to try and get them to pay for the legal fees. So it's this massive battle. It's usually not worth it if it's under $50,000 in debt. But then if it's the PPSR is in place, then you can actually just go to them 31 days after the account and say, pay me or else, and then you just pull that trigger and they have to pay you. There's no way around it. So
okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
So check that out.
Yeah, I will.
So that's got to be set up in the terms. So to protect your contractors that work for builders, that's what they need to get set up in their terms before they go out and...
and a builder's accepting that?
Well, that's the thing that you have to...
You know, a lot of tradies are like, the builder's like, I won't use you if you're going to mess about with me.
Exactly.
Like that.
So that's the thing, isn't it? So it's...
Yeah. There's the Security of Payments Act, which I've come across, which is very powerful.
Yeah.
If you invoke it in time and get your lawyers on it in time, it has some time restrictions on it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. But, you know, it's a difficult thing, right? Because what happens with most people is, just like you said, they wait and hold off and worry and don't want to upset people and don't want to damage relationships. And then it's too late. I have a client who, you know, is owed $100,000 by a builder for kitchens.
Mm.
And the guy just sends him messages going, yes, I acknowledge that I owe you the money, and not paying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's him off, you know, it's terrifying.
Yeah. We've got lots of stories like that as well. So I think also collecting money on the go, and this is where I sort of got a little bit concerned with that stretching out. And I said, does that mean we should just be getting payment for every single job on site from now on? Because that's where I think that, you know, we shouldn't be giving credit out if we're not going to be able to collect, and people can just go, what? Like, you serve them after 30 days and then you...
I think in reality it works, you know, on a consumer job, you can get your money before you leave, right? You get your systems in place, you can get your money before you leave, and that works. With a builder, there's no way any builder's going to
pay on the go. Yeah.
They're just going to go, no, I pay on, you know, 30 days-ish.
Yeah.
Or whenever, you know, whatever it is that they accept, you know, and if you don't work with their terms, you're probably not getting their business.
Yeah.
Right. You'd want to be really good, right? To be getting paid on, you know, on date of invoice or something, when everyone else is kind of taking what the builder gives.
Yeah.
You want really good.
Yeah.
Really cheap or something, you know.
Yeah.
You want something special.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's for sure. Is there any other stimulus items that you think are worth noting?
No, I think I'm hopeful that the stimulus will change. You know, I think our focus, my customers' focus, and your customers' focus needs to be cash flow.
Yep.
And like I said, sustaining. So all the others are like spending money. And they don't really help, you know. If you've got business loans, you don't need to pay them till later. That's great. You know, if you don't have any business loans, it doesn't really help you. Mm. You know, I think if you know, if shit starts to get real, you probably need to be ringing your mortgagees and your loan people up and saying, I won't be paying my loans for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, and the government stimulus is really helping the banks cope with that rather than you know. So I'll do that, right? I've certainly been advising my business partner in New Zealand and you know, other customers, call your mortgage and don't say I won't be paying. Call your landlord and say I won't be paying. You know, he's probably well off, your landlord, and can handle it. You know, the banks can probably handle it if you say I won't be paying those vehicle loans for a bit. Yeah,
I've heard over the last couple of days that lots of leasing companies are saying that you can put your leases on hold for equipment hire. Most banks are having an online portal where you can go and set your home loan repayments like 6 months, no payments. So you still accrue interest, but that means you've got more cash to play with. And also the 50% government, 50% bank secured loans, non-secured loans. So you can go and get these, you know, these cash loans where you don't have to make any repayments for 6 months. And if you feel like you're going to get into some really tricky cash position, then you can just have that loan sitting there. Yes, you're accruing a little bit of interest, but it's tax deductible. But you've got that cushion there to protect you, because the last thing you want to be doing is operating in a fight or flight state, like that full stress, heart tension, like I'm going to die feeling, You don't want to be operating there, because that's not a good place to be working. That's when you see your families break down, your loved ones turned away, you don't see your friends, like you get in a real dark place, depression, all this shit happens, alcohol, drugs, whatever happens to a lot of people. Yeah. So that's, we don't want to go there. So let's protect ourselves, have a bit of a nest egg there that is borrowed, but we can use that to be in a place where we can think creatively, because it's hard to think creatively when we're stressed.
Well, look, I like what you're saying, because I've avoided that, right? I've avoided saying to people, go and get a loan, knowing that it's, it comes with risk, getting a loan. You still have to pay it back.
Yeah.
And if things are shit, borrowing more money can be a slippery slope and very dangerous. So I'm quite interested to hear what you just said, because I've turned away from that thought, of saying, borrow more money.
Yeah.
Partly because of that. So I'm just stewing on that a little bit.
Yeah.
I might consider what I've been saying, but I've generally been looking away from that and going, never mind that. That's rubbish. That's great that you don't have to pay the loans you've got, but I haven't really been encouraging people to get more loans.
The thing is, the way I see it is that you don't have to spend that, and you want to try and not spend it. So the goal is to get past the 6 months and go, actually, I didn't need that. Here, have it back. I paid a little bit of a surplus, but do you know what? I went through that period feeling empowered and not feeling like the whole world was crashing around me. There's nothing worse than bouncing that bank account on zero or dipping into that overdraft.
Is to keep paying stuff, to keep paying people, right? If you're a lovely person and you want to look after your team and you keep paying wages, and then you end up having to fire everybody and you owe another 100K because you've had a loan.
You have to
that's the danger, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a bit of discipline. And I've fallen into that trap in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up with massive debt burden because I thought if I just got it through a bit longer, I could pull through.
Yeah.
So I ended up, not pulling through with a bigger debt. And I think that was a long time ago, but I think that's, an easy trap to fall into. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm wary.
Yeah. That's a really good point as well. So we need to be we need to treat that loan as zero. So if you're going under it, that's when you act on, I can't have you guys anymore. I gotta act as if I got no money. It's not like, I've still got 250 grand from the bank. So let's just use that for 2 more months.
This is what I meant, I think, when I was talking about a plan, You need to make a plan early. If there's not going to be income, what do I do to sustain? Do I put everyone on half wages and say, go home for 4 weeks, I'll pay you half wages. But if it lasts for 3 months, you've got to go. You need to make those plans early.
Yeah.
Not when you're going, fuck, like you said.
Yeah.
Waking up at the end, in the night, terrified.
Yeah.
All that. So I think, back to make a plan, The loan's a nice idea, and I accept your position on it. But don't fall into that trap.
Yeah.
You just in a deeper hole,
Definitely, I've got an issue with people being too nice around employees as well. Like, if they're not performing, or you aren't in a position where you can keep them anymore, too many people, and I think I had the biggest lesson ever when I left the company I worked for and started my own business. It was like 6 months after that, they worked for a big bank and they just had all this work all the time and had like 30 vans. I can't remember the exact number, heaps of vans. And, great company, everything was good, great team. And then the bank got bought out by another bank. And then they go, actually, we're going to use our electrician from the other bank. The whole time they were being assured by their bank manager or the facility manager or whoever was managing all that, no, it's going to be all right, it's going to be all right. So they held on to the point where couldn't pay wages or super for like months. or
Yeah,
years.
then the direct person liable, right, and properly in the shed.
Yeah, and held on to that too long. So like I learnt that. I was like, holy shit, like I'm going to be aware of that, So I've always acted quickly and, if I need to.
Okay.
But I've always, for me, in my staff, it's like my family as well. So I'm always trying to do everything I can to raise the revenue, grow the business, educate the team, get them performing at a better level. Often the main reason why we don't have a good month is because no one's trying. That's the truth. So
Yeah.
so when I can get them trying again, it's like, oh wow, look how good you guys are when you try. So that's something that we cyclically go through. So it's great building models and structures and processes around that to manage the performance. But then there comes the time where no, not even performance is going to get you out of this. You're overstaffed. You're too admin heavy.
Yeah, at some point you've got to cut, right? At some point you've got to cut, and I'm with you. I agree with you. You've got to cut early rather than too late.
Yeah.
At least you've got to cut in time. You're going to have this balance, aren't you, between wanting to look after your people and not be a prick, and making sure you don't ruin your business and sacrifice yourself.
And the rest of the team.
Yeah, and the rest of the team for the sake of protecting somebody for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
So I do agree, and it's a difficult balance, and I think the balance has been wrong for a long time. Big companies, I've worked in large companies. I worked in Optus when 1,000 people had to go. It was devastating, and I remember 5 years later, Optus wondering why employee engagement was so low.
Yeah.
And everyone going, well, why do you think?
Yeah.
No, you don't care about us. No, we don't need more picnics.
Yeah.
We need to know that you care, and you don't. And so in a small business, that's even more true, right? Because we have actual personal relationships, which means it's a harder decision.
Yeah.
When to do it for the owners, right? When do we cut? I don't know that there's a right answer, right? The only answer is don't wait too long.
Yeah. No, it's when I believe it's when you've optimized performance and you still can't make money from it. And it might be because of the market. It might be because you've had competitors knock you off, your podium, or it could be
this, right? Like COVID.
Could be COVID. Yeah. Like there's always going to be something that's causing these random, unexpected blows to the side. And this is obviously going to be a big one, especially for companies that shut down completely. So, getting through this, we've got to be diligent and act soon, like you're saying. And also, if you feel like if your team could perform better, there's no better time like now to bring your team together and the camaraderie between your team. Like, let's get out of this together. Let's perform better. Let's try our best. I can't believe the amount of energy and enthusiasm that's happening in my team at the moment. And it's just, I'm so impressed. And it's because we're all pulling together to try and keep the business, the language I'm using, I want to keep this business for all of us. I don't want to keep it for some of us, So the only way that's going to happen is if we all put in right now. Yeah.
And I think if we look after them a bit, and what Simon Sinek says, have you seen some of his stuff, the leadership stuff, when he talks about why Navy SEALs dive in front of a bullet and take a bullet for someone else? And he says, why did you do that? And they say, well, he would have done it for me. We need to do a little bit of that as the leaders as well, right? We need to be prepared to take some pain or some risk for our people. Or why would they take it for us?
Yeah.
And but like you say, where's the line, right? There's no point dying for them or sacrificing everybody. And we all die.
Yeah. And I have also clients that are too scared to tell their staff that they're struggling. Now this is probably the worst case scenario. So your staff doesn't even know that anything's wrong. They might be underperforming and they know it. And they're just like, nah, everything's sweet. I'm just cruising along. Mate's got this, boss has got this, he's got it handled, no problem. Doesn't say a single thing about it. There's no problem. And then, but in the back end, us as coaches, we're talking to these people and they're like, I'm freaking out, I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, well, you have to talk to your staff, man. You know, you have to talk to your staff. Like, if you don't let them know what's happening, they can't change their behavior to match. You know, if they don't know how much you are stressing, if they don't know how much you're hurting right now, why they're not going to go above and beyond to help pull you out of there. They're not going to reach down and pull you up because they don't even know you're down there. They think you're up here. So
they tend to think you're up here, don't they?
Yeah.
Right? They tend to. I like to say this to my people. You know, they think you drive to work in your Ferrari, park around the corner, get in a shitty old ute and drive to work. They do, right? I know that's a silliness, but you know, they do, right? They do tend to think that your boss, you know, you're charging $100 an hour and you're paying them 30 and you get $70 for every hour that they work, which you spend on diamonds and Ferraris and, you know. Yeah. They tend, right? It's a thing until you explain. Yeah, really, until you explain that that's not how it is, they don't know. They don't consider it.
Yeah.
And they do think, you know, they do just look at you and kind of imagine that you're the boss and you're rich and you've got it all going on and you're confident and you know what you're doing. You know, you've got it all under control.
I think one of the best things I ever did, and this was so controversial, and I remember my ops manager saying, don't do it, and some of my other business peers going, don't do it. And I was like, at the point, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I really don't care anymore. So I showed my whole team my P&L. I said, this is how the business works. You ready? And I showed them, this is what I pay money on. This is how much we earn. This is the stuff you invoice. Yes, you might walk away and go, I earned $1,800 today. I only got paid $300. That means he makes $1,500. But in that was this. And they're just like,
this is how much I got left.
Yeah, at the end. This much money is moving, and then I get this much. And then there's the months that were not so good, and they're just like, wow. So now they've got so much respect that transparency is there, and then they know what a bad month means, you know? I tell them. I say, this is how much we lost this month.
Money, or you lost money, It's good for them to know.
And once we did that, then they became more empowered and they had a better understanding and they wanted to find out more. They're like, can I come in and learn a little bit more about that? Most people would be like, nah. Like, if you learn that, you're going to go start your own business and you're off, you went. Like, none of my guys that saw that and have been a part of that have gone off and started their own business because they're feeling empowered within the business. Yeah.
I say to a lot of my customers, you know, we put a strategy together at first. So show it to your team. You know, and your strategy includes a goal, a revenue goal and a profit goal. And they say, do you think it's okay for me to share them that? You know, that I want 10% of 3 million or 5 million as my net profit after my salary. And I say, yeah, show them, you know.
Yeah.
People don't sit there and go, wow, you're going to be rich at my expense. They go, well, you know, one, that's all you get if it goes well. And two, I want to be part of this. You know, the benefits outweigh the risks of them going, oh. Look how much you make, because they think you're making more than that, definitely.
Totally. Well, here's an example of someone. My brother-in-law works for a big trucking company, and he comes home and he goes and tells me all about, you know, this company, they made this much in profit last year, and then they made this much. And I was like, wow, man. Like, he doesn't go, and the big boss is loaded and he's got Ferraris and whatever. Like, he doesn't. He's just proud of being a part of that company that turned over that much and made that much profit. You know, he's not thinking about like what the boss gets or the management gets or whatever. Like, he just sees it as like he's a part of this team that was able to make all this money and provide to all these people. So I think,
and it's being successful, right?
Yeah, no,
we like to share in success, don't we?
Totally. When it comes to customers, like you're just saying there, don't come home and sit on the couch and want Netflix. Oh, it's nothing on. I'll watch Netflix. I'll just watch some YouTube. TikTok's fucking funny, so I'm just going to watch some TikTok for a while. And then 3 hours later, you're still watching TikTok. So the thing is, yes, it's going to be hard to get new clients. Like, new clients right now, some of the suggestions I'm putting out is don't waste your time trying to get new clients. Because unless there was something already propagating and ready to happen, if you've got a customer base, you need to leverage that. You need to be You need to be working on your current customers and adding value to them because there's trust there and they're already using you. So they're going to spend more money with you if you present the right product and service to them. The people like if in terms of high value clients, if you're going to a new client and saying, hey, why don't you swap over and you start using us because we do this and we do that, they're going to be like, I don't even want to go there. Like there's too much risk of me.
I'm busy.
Yeah, busy, but there's too much risk of me going, oh, let's give them a go. And then for you to go off and just completely screw them over and ruin something and put extra workload on those people at the moment. It's just somewhere that they just don't want to go. So it's going to be really, like I know a lot of people are like, I'm just going to work really hard on your marketing strategy for new clients. I'm like, that's not what you need to do right now. What you need to do...
get that ready. Get that ready.
Get it ready. Yeah, but a lot of people are getting...
Focus on your customer. I'm with you, mate.
Consumed by this, you know. They're building these big lists. They're getting consumed, or they're thinking about Instagram strategy, you know, and they're spending 6 hours a day on Instagram. It's like, really? Like, you can't spend if you spent 6 hours calling your existing customers, things would change for you. Like, you'll get through this just doing that. But instead, you're spending 6 hours on Instagram to hope you get some jobs out of your photos you're posting. So I think...
I'm with you. Focus on your customers. Build those relationships. Look after them. This is the advice I've been given. Look after them. Ask them what they need, what they're worried about, how you can help with that. You know, if your customers are builders, or if your customers are real estates, or if your customers are Mr. and Mrs. Johnny, you know, it's similar, right?
Yeah.
You're not bringing Mr. and Mrs. Johnny, but you might be sending emails and postcards and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and say, it's all right, we're washing our hands, we're social distancing, we're going to wear masks.
Yeah.
Keep the fuck away from us. We can still fix your toilet, or we can still fix your bathroom, you know?
Yeah. And I think all it takes is a conversation is like, how you going? How's life? How's business?
Yeah.
You know, are you doing okay? Like, that conversation without mentioning work is like, what a legend. Like, thank you. No one else is calling. Not even my mum's calling me about this. You know, so I think there's an opportunity there to just say, hey, are you okay? And then end the phone call. You know, have a conversation about that, end the phone call, and see what happens. The magic will happen.
Yeah, don't try and sell anything always. How can we help?
Yeah.
What do you need? All those things.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
It's hard to do, I think.
It's hard to,
we're all feeling needy.
It's so desperate,
it's hard to do, right?
For work.
Well, because you feel, we're all feeling a bit needy, I think, at the moment. You know,
let's just put two little mice, right? Two little mice. And then there's some cheese here. This little mouse comes up to this mouse and goes, hey, how's it going? You feeling all right? And it sniffs some cheese and it's like, oh, I've got to walk away, not eat the cheese. It's just not going to happen. It's really hard for that mouse not to eat the cheese.
It's quite hard to even say, let's share the cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? Hey, I lost 400k today, mate.
Yeah. Really? On the stock market?
Yeah. No, in a deal that was going to go and isn't going to go anymore.
Oh, no.
I own a business with a partner, and he wanted to buy me out. He doesn't anymore.
That's out. Yep, sure.
That's my shit day.
Shouldn't have bought the business up. Should have just talked about the cheese. Not the cheese.
I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, it is turbulent times, man.
Oh yeah, look, I like to tell people that I'm struggling and having a bit tough as well. You know, I'm not a big fan of saying, "Oh, I've got it all going on and I'm all right."
Yeah.
I like to say to my customers and people, I'm going through the same shit you're going through.
Yeah.
I'll cope without getting this 400k, but I thought I was getting a 400k windfall, and I'm not. You know, it's happening to all of us.
Yeah.
Right? We're looking down the barrel, aren't we?
Yeah.
Being a bit for a while.
Well, we were actually quite lucky in a way in my electrical contracting business because we had a really terrible January and a really terrible February. So I jumped in like end of January to like rectify the problem, and we thought creatively around the problem we had, which wasn't COVID-19 at the time. So we did a lot of extra training, we did a lot of extra prep, we spent a lot more time like dialing our team in, and then COVID-19 happened, and it's like our guys were already on this trajectory. You know what I mean? So COVID-19 is like it was unintentional, it was pure fluke, but that was because of 2 bad months coming up to COVID-19, which has prepared us for this really bad period, and we're having such an awesome month. It might even be a record month for us this month. So
really?
Yeah, it's just,
good. No,
but it's because of the 2 really terrible months before. So people going through COVID-19 right now, if you take the right actions, you'll come out of this on a positive note. We just have to think creatively, and we've got to keep changing And if it's not working, keep changing, dynamic.
Change again.
Yeah.
Yeah, change again.
My staff get quite. They know me now, but like some of my staff, when they start, they're like, "Oh, here we go, something new again. Something's changing again. It's always changing. Like it's not working. I'm not staying with it. It's not working. We're changing that procedure. We're changing that procedure. We're changing that procedure." So they're like, "Oh, change it a different way again." But yeah, we've built it into the business that it is now. So, and
it's going well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And the other thing is we've got to look at this not as such a micro analytic way, like looking at your bad month or your bad 2 months or your bad 3 months. Like sometimes you need to look at it over a year and go, hey, look, we've still made profit over the year. So let's be happy about that. It's when you're not making profit over a year, we're sort of going to start to get worried. It's like, okay, something's going to change now.
Well, right.
Yeah. But I think also, something that I changed last year from the way that I look at reports is I always looked at it on a monthly basis. I always took into account the 4-week pay month and the 5-week pay month, and that was fine. And we evened all that out and made it look pretty consistent. But I'd look at it on a monthly basis. And it wasn't until I looked at it from a 3-monthly basis more often, I said, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to get emotionally react about this until I look at it on a 3-month. And if it's negative in a 3-month, then I'm going to be pretty upset.
We tend to look at a month. You can look at a month and you can go, it's all right, because we bought all the materials for all the invoicing that's this month, or something, right? You can usually have those thoughts, can't you?
Mm.
I use a tracker, a graph. I use a graph.
Yeah.
I have a numbers tracker that I use for my clients, and it does a lot of that. I tend to smooth it out, just like you're saying.
Yeah.
Let's look at the last 12 months. Are we going all right,
Yeah.
Totally. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You've got to look at your trends. Your trends are important.
Yeah. I think also in the trade realm right now, it hasn't really stopped. So especially more essential services like sewage, electrical and lighting, power and lighting, they're essential services. So a large portion of it is essential. So that's why a lot of those services are still humming along. And
none of them have stopped yet. None of my clients have stopped yet.
Yeah. But
builders have had the customers go, I don't think we'll start yet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And they probably, cafe owners, restaurant owners, pub owners, people that are in hospitality, they're getting smashed, And
well, they're all shut basically, aren't they?
Yeah, they're shut. And I couldn't imagine, like I have planned for a full shutdown. I've actually done all of the financials. I said, what does this look like? How much money am I going to have to lay down to rest out this period? What is the strategies we're going to have to take to get through that? And we can talk about that a bit later. But, I think that's the sort of things that we have to do before it becomes a problem. So I think the people who have already, like for instance, PTs that are creating online training and nutrition plans, they started a couple of weeks ago when they thought, if the gym's shut, I've got to make sure I've got something ready. They're the ones that planned early. So one of your points today was planning, making sure that you're planning and knowing what's potentially. And I like
what you said about, doing something new. There are obviously people out there doing something new, home office people.
Yeah.
Harvey Norman with cheap freezers, There's somebody making money at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have to definitely look at how we can survive. Instead of, I hope I do.
Tradies, right? This is something for our tradies. There's a few phenomena that are happening. Cocooning's a thing, right? We're all at home. The plumbing's going to break. The electric's going to break. We're going to need maintenance. But also, we're at home. We're going to fucking see how shit it is.
Yeah.
And we want to make it nicer because we're here. And we're going to, that cocooning phenomenon. Have you come across that?
No, tell me about it.
Well, it's making home nicer, right? I'm at home more. I'm under pressure.
Yeah.
So I'm not going out. We've got quite an outward focus, right? As people, we go out to restaurants and cafes and the beaches and the theatres and cinemas and right. We're out there in the world having fun. It's lovely, right? It's exciting.
Yeah.
And now we're under pressure. We're all like, and our focus comes in, right? We just want to sit at home and get under a blanket and drink a bottle of wine and watch Netflix and hope and keep the children in sight and Like it's cocooning,
Yeah.
right? We're staying where it's safe, and that focuses our spending on that as well. Focuses our spending on home. So I've got a friend in solar, and he's selling batteries now. Like this
Oh
week,
yeah, that would be a thing, eh? Like if
people
people
are
are
like, let's
hoarding
offer it.
food right now, it's like,
Yeah,
oh my
hoarding
God.
food. Make sure we're safe if there's no power. Right, make the house nice. Maybe we won't do the extension, but do need that new kitchen. All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So though we need to be steering our customers, electricians and other trades, to think about that. Not an extension, but a bathroom or a renovation or a paint job or
Yeah.
thing where we can enjoy being at home. And it's a thing in every recession, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we can bring that in. I'll volunteer that. I'll
Yep.
sound really clever if I do that.
Yeah. No, totally. We're talking about people, talking about plans and investing. What sort of investment suggestions are you teaching to your tradies?
Marketing.
Marketing. Oh, my favorite.
Almost entirely marketing. Yeah, not totally, right? Invest in documenting your systems. I'm saying to my people, you've got some time where it's going to be quiet. You're going to build systems out, you're going to document all this stuff we talked about. You're going to come out of this having done all that stuff that you keep telling me you're too busy to do in the normal world, right? Because we're in here, we're juggling, we've got shit to do, we want to grow, but we're too busy, and there's always that juggle. So you're going to take some of that time and you're going to build some of this hard work in. So you're going to invest in that, but you're also going to invest in marketing. Like you said, your new markets, how we're going to pivot, how we're going to contact all our customers, make sure they're okay and make sure we look after them, building our websites. If we're not going to spend money on our websites because we're worrying about the money, then we're going to write everything and design everything and engage people and then click it off when we can afford to, when the risk profile has changed.
Yeah.
But, we're looking at investing time more than money, I think.
Yep.
Everyone's worried about money, right? And I appreciate that and respect that. I'm not going to sit here saying to my clients to get that stimulus money and spend it on Facebook ads. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think I've seen people advertising out there saying, cost per click and cost per lead acquisition is low now. It's the time to do it. Sure. But, you've got an unknown, uncertain future in front of you and limited resources, and that's your most important priority. So invest your time and your energy and your people's time and energy in that, Build your sales processes, build your estimating process so you can offload it to somebody else, so that when the time comes, you can go bang and strike and win deals and go and increase your capacity.
Yep.
Talk to the people who are entrenched by your competitors, line them up for hiring them in December when you've picked up those extra jobs. That's the kind of investment I'm talking to people about now.
Yeah, 100%. With that extra time as well, if you're not calling your customers, you are doing what you said, like building procedures, sitting down and going, how do I do it when I'm at my best self? Like, you've got heaps of energy, you've had just the right amount of coffee, you're feeling great. Like, how does it work when you're feeling that way? And it's like this. Now, that's what you want to build your process on. So you can go, this is how I do it to your staff, your ops manager, your management team, your electricians. And then, of course, not every single day is going to be like that, but that's something to hold your team against,
Look, and sometimes, you can go to your team and say, what do you think? This is how I do it or would do it, but we can build a system together too, You're not always the best at everything. We like to think we are, I'm sure, but we're probably not.
Yeah.
And our team, I like to remind my customers, your team aren't stupid idiots, right? These are intelligent, capable, experienced tradespeople who know what they're doing. They might know better than you. They might think of a way to do it better than you. You can build these systems together. You can write them together. You can agree what our way is.
Totally.
Whether it's for how we install something or how we build something or how we write a quote or how we do something, you don't know everything. Your team are smart people. We forget that, I think.
The biggest frustration is having a team of yes men or women, Yes, okay, that's how we do it. No, provide feedback. Like, let me know. Like, how can we change this? Let's make this dynamic. Like, let's move this. If it's not working in that line number 3, What do we need to do differently there? So I think a digital process now needs to be digital because you need to be able to have that flexibility to be able to line 3 change, boom, done. Like instantly uploaded to the cloud, it's changed for everyone to see. And people need to be malleable to that too.
Yeah. I think people are too, you know. My experience of pushing people to systematise is that their staff don't mind. They tend to embrace it and enjoy it and join in, you know. Yeah. Well, good to meet you, mate.
Sweet. You too.
Yeah.
All the best.
All right.
I'll catch you soon. See you, John.
Thanks, Greg. See you, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
With the stimulus package, obviously every business is different, but what is some of the advice you're giving out around the stimulus package at the moment to tradespeople?
Okay, so far it's been like this. Maximize your pay as you go, so you get more stimulus. So if that means, if you can, if you're a limited company or a trust, pay yourself a wage, pay yourself a bigger wage if you can, pay your wife a wage if you can. This all depends on your cash flow position, right? It's all very well saying pay yourself more money if there's no money in the bank to pay yourself with. Same with you guys, you know, if you've got people on subcontract, you know, these stupid sham contracting things that people still insist on doing, paying people on it. Well, don't do that. Put them on a wage quick, get it in your BAS and get some stimulus back.
Yeah.
I'm quite pragmatic, you know, right? Get your missus on the books, get your employees on the books, get your apprentices on the books, and get the money back.
Yeah.
That's really as far as I've gone with it, you know. Apprentices and employees. If you want to buy a ute, buy a bloody ute. But really, now's not necessarily the time to be spending shitloads of money. You've got a period of harm to get through.
Yeah.
Or I really want to suggest you go spending 50k.
You want to keep cash available, and we want to have a very particular attention on ROI, not just spend. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm spending money on that, I'm spending on money on that, I'm spending money on that. It's like, but what is that giving you? You know, like a lot of people are just cutting all the costs. And it's like, you can't just go through and cut all of the costs out of your business.
Cut the shit costs.
Yeah.
Keep the ones that are going to help you grow. Marketing is important, right?
Yeah.
But review them. Don't just be stupid. You know, there's truth in the fact that we get excited and spend money and then should review and cut some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I just had something, then it's gone.
Yeah, no, that's all right. So with the instant write-off, so with the assets, I think that a really key thing that people need to think about is if you're planning to buy a vehicle anyway, then make sure you do it before June 30.
Like, buy it now.
Yeah. So
if you're not,
don't buy one just because that's there. Yeah. So that's pretty.
My view is the same. I think a lot of the stuff that's come out, you know, the instant asset write-off, the sooner depreciation stuff, that's a stimulus package, and we've gone beyond the stimulus package now. Everyone needs a rescue package, you know. Government encouraging us to spend more money on stuff isn't going to happen. Everyone's too scared.
Yeah.
So ignore that shit.
Yeah.
Really, don't you think? You know.
Totally.
You've got to think really of making sure you can sustain the business you've got, your team. I'm really thinking your team and your marketing for as long as possible, for long enough.
Yeah.
To get through, right? You know, for not for a month of shutdown, but for 3 months of fucked revenue or 5 months of fucked revenue.
Yeah.
Before it starts to get good, you've got to be thinking like that. You've got to be putting everybody on half wages and send them home for half a week.
Yeah.
And you know, and using your time when it's quiet to build all these systems in your business so that when it starts to pick up, you can go and sweep all the business. You've got to be thinking about these clever ideas you can have for new revenue streams or different revenue streams because everything's changing.
Yeah.
Don't go home and work on the garden. You know, there's work to do.
Yeah.
Secure as much business as you can now